Hi, Scott Livingston here from ReconditioningHQ.com, and today what I'm going to talk about is really the fundamental premise of reconditioning, which is building human robustness. So we want to build a more robust person. What does robustness really mean? It's the ability to adapt, the ability to handle load, to handle the stresses that we're going to apply to our body in whatever physical culture we may be enjoying. And ultimately we have to build our body to be able to do that. And so we want to build robustness, and how we do that is we build two fundamental attributes. One is capability and the other one is capacity. Capability is how we move, the qualitative element of it, and capacity is the quantitative side of things, the loads that we have to handle, the speed at which we have to produce it, the fatigue that we have to incur in doing those movements. So we have to build both sides of that equation, and there are sort of general movements that we do, and there's movements that are more specific depending on what it is we'd like to do in our physical culture. Ultimately, we have to build that continuum from general to more specific over time. We're not talking about creating perfect movers. What we're talking about is creating better movers. And ultimately, in movement, what we want to look at is having more effectiveness, more efficiency, and we want to eliminate the limits. We want to eliminate the limits to movement. Now, when we look at any particular movement pattern, there is something called fluctuators and there is something called detractors. Fluctuators are movement attributes that the body changes in order to adjust to different circumstances. Attractors are things in a movement pattern that tend to be similar or stay the same no matter what. So if we think about a baseball swing as an example, when we take our arms through the swing, the baseball swing remains fairly close to the same pattern of motion. But how we adjust to the ball, we find that adjustment in different places in our body. We may move our knees forward and back, we may shift through the spine, shift through the pelvis, etc. to get under the ball or around the ball. That's the same thing in golf or different kinds of sports like that. And we have those kinds of realities in lots of different movement patterns. So ultimately what we want to make sure is that our fluctuators, the movements where we make the adjustments, are available to us. So we want to eliminate those limits. Then number two, we want to make sure somebody's more efficient. They're using less energy to produce the movement that they need to, and most effective. All the energy is being summated and used to produce the forces that they want to produce and get the ball where they want it to go, the action to be created as best as possible. So we're not talking about perfection, we're talking about the process of improving. So we're going to take somebody, make them that much better, cleaner movers, build a nice strong capability or capacity on top of that, and over time we're going to build a more robust person who can handle more stress, more strain, and do all the things that they want to do in physical culture with less potential for injury, and at the end of the day using less energy to get to and from or to do the things that they want to do. Hope that's helpful. That's what we do in reconditioning. If you like this stuff, we're going to have lots more stuff on Facebook coming up, and if you got any questions, drop them in the box. Happy to answer them. Take care. Bye-bye.